Queen Victoria, the only child of Edward, the Duke of Kent and King George III's fourth son, and Victoria set sail with Coburg, sister of Leopold, King of the Belgian, was Queen of Great Britain for 63 years. Today, she is the second longest reigning British monarch after Queen Elizabeth II. Victoria's reign saw great cultural expansion, advance in industry, science, and communication, and the building of railway in the London Underground. She died in England in 1901. The Victorian era in Great Britain was a time of great change and progress, and is still considered the birth of modern times.
Victorian rich children. These children were raised by a nanny who teaches them what was proper and what was not. Their lives were nothing than a lonely, monotonous routine and formal. Wealthy Victorian children rarely communicated with their parent, except for a specific time each day. The nanny was a substitute parent, to do the brood of the child rearing. They instruct the nanny what they want to have installed into their children: education, property, and etc. In general, the nannies were usually older women and they had never been married.
The poor Victorian children lived in much more accommodation than the rich children did. It is hard to adequately put into words how bad the conditions were for poor Victorian children. The poor did not live in houses, since poverty was next to impossible to cure, and the rich were the only ones who could afford to pay. Most poor families lived in small apartments, some no bigger than one room. Sometimes two or more families would share an apartment. These apartments could be found in the very run-down parts of town. They would be in the buildings that were very close to or connected to another set of apartments.
Victorian architecture is a series in the mid to late 19th century. Victorian refers to the reign of Queen Victoria, called the Victorian era, during which period the styles known as Victorian were used in constructions. However, many elements of what is typically termed Victorian architecture did not become popular until later in Victorian's reign. The styles often included interpretation and eclectic revivals of historic styles mixed with the introduction of Middle East and Asian influences. The name represents the British and French custom of naming architectural styles for reigning monarchs.
The fashion in the Victorian age. Queen Victoria ruled England from 1837 and 1901. Before this time, men were the focus of fashion, but with the Queen in power, women surged to the forefront. The role of a wife became to show off her husband's statue and rule the public, with the husband himself residing into the background. Many different clothing styles came and went during her reign. There were the pre-hope, the hoop, the early, the natural form, the late bustle, and the Edwardian.
Cricket is a bat and ball game, played between two teams of 11 players on the cricket field, at the center of which is a rectangular 22-yard long pitch with a wicket, a set of 3 wooden stumps, 6 at each end. One team, designated the batting team, attempts to score as many runs as possible, while their opponent's field. Each phase of play is called an inning. After either batsmen have been dismissed, this fixed number of overs have been completed. The innings ends and the two teams then swap roles. The winning team is the one that scores the most runs, including any extras gained during their 1 or 2 innings.
Rich and poor children had vastly different lifestyles when it came to food. The rich children would dine on significant amounts of food and waste food too, whereas the poor would have limited meals of low quality. A large quantity of the population were living on dry pain, bread, tea, and vegetables. Certainly not the greatest diet. Street vendors within the Victorian times would sell a number of different foods, including rice milk, ginger beer, and cheap trotters. Never a dull moment within the Victorian times. The diet for those Victorians who were very poor was terrible. Potato parings and rotten vegetables were sometimes the dish of the day, and for children born into the background, this was exceptionally difficult for growth. Those from the farming industry tended to eat much better. A diet of meat, vegetables, fresh milk was commonly available, and they were available